Hello guys! If in this crazy world we had something similar to a rating of the most irrational and unnecessary losses among the armies, Russian army would definitely rank the first. According to the recent investigation of the British intelligence service, not even Ukrainian because you can consider us biased, Russia has broken its own record and lost 1,300 soldiers in a day. Think about that. 1,300 soldiers killed during one day near Avdiivka. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight informational war. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. You know that I am not a professional military vlogger, not a politician, but I often name myself a professional Ukrainian, and in my videos I try to transmit the ideas that bother Ukrainians most of all in these challenging times. And as a Ukrainian, I feel very weird that few people in the world speak about Russian national character and attitude to people. Because when observing how brutal they are to their own soldiers, how they totally do not care about the numbers they sacrifice daily, we cannot understand the essence of this country. Many try to inspire peace negotiations and other stuff, but what can you actually negotiate with people who do not value human lives? Not just lives of their enemies, Ukrainians, but of Russians themselves. When we look at the development of Ukrainian counteroffensive, we can definitely see that Ukrainian commanders care about people. The bad thing about war is that no matter how attentive you are, no matter how prepared you are, you can die any moment. But our commanders observe the way various operations develop, and when they see that a certain place, certain location, or certain plan demands too many of human victims, they stop and rethink. And I think that's the way it must be. We want to live in the world and we fight for the world where human life means something. And in Russia, it is just the country. Russia has to be defeated, even for the sake of its own citizens. Remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel. For example, Avdiivka is a small Ukrainian town really close to Donetsk. Now, serious, very hot battles take place around it. And it is actually the place where Russia has recently lost 1,300 soldiers in a day. This is terrifying. This is not the capital of Ukraine, this is not the port, this is not a strategic point at all, but Russia, that is losing in this war, desperately needs at least some kind of victory to demonstrate it to its people. Taking into account that soon they will have an election campaign. I know elections don't exist in Russia, but still they have to put something in their media, in the mouths of their propagandists, and they have nothing. Even trolls in the comments to my videos are boring. Why? They have nothing to say. They repeat old sentences, but no new messages. And Putin and his people do everything to get anything at a very high price. I think that according to the standards of NATO or any other sane society, it goes without saying that the number of soldiers you put on stake also matters. And that's why we have to be very dynamic in this war, because Russia does not have any limits, any, red lines that it is not ready to cross as this war develops. Once again, looking at how many people they have already lost here, more than 300,000 in general, gaining literally nothing, just problems, sanctions, isolation, hatred of the world, and a very narrow line of territory that soon will return back. And come on, now the return of Crimea to Ukraine seems more realistic than ever, more realistic than in 2014, 2015, or anything else. They keep killing their own people. They kill them in badly planned operations. They kill them not providing them medication or equipment they need. They execute those who want to retreat. They do not train newly mobilized people. They send prisoners whom they are ready to utilize is not the word in the English language, but in Ukrainian it has similar meaning, like recycle. I'm sorry, but that's not my idea. That's Putin's idea, and it's awful to observe that. But what I intend to attract your attention to in this video, that when diplomats, politicians think about potential conversations with Russian leaders, they have to keep in mind these are people of a totally different kind of consciousness. People that do not share any of the values you want to include in that conversation. We all have some triggers, we all have some emotions, but Russians are very different in that. They don't care about their own soldiers, they don't care about their own people. So how do you want them to care for world in general? Or anyone else, or Ukrainian children? No, if they don't care for their own people, they will not care for Ukrainian children, American children, Polish children, or anything else. This is pure evil, blinded by the imperial idea. And that's why we have to be very united, very categoric, and very dynamic, because every day Ukraine loses the best of its people, but Russia also loses these people. And if we want to be normal, humane, if you want to be people, we have to stop it as soon as possible. But of course, only with Ukrainian victory. And observing what is happening in Avdiivka, we can only compare that to meat grinders. I know many vloggers use this ugly, but at the same time, vivid metaphor of meat waves. That's what they do. And the plan of Russia, the tactic of Russia, is to send as much meat as needed, and wait for the world to get tired. I think we should get angry, we can get frustrated to some extent, because observing such not normal for a human being behavior is really difficult, but we cannot relax or get tired. We have to stop it. And once again, the main stress, when Ukraine sees something goes wrong, we always stop, think, regroup, and replan. And the tactics of Russia is simply to send as many people to meat grinders as needed, because they have millions they are ready to sacrifice. And they are ready to sacrifice all the planet if needed, for the sake of global hatred. I don't know. Let me know, what do you think, why Russians act like that to their own people? But I think this is a very important reminder for all of us when planning any kind of conversation, when planning any kind of argument. We have to remember Russian society feels totally different about the value of life, the value of freedom, and anything else. So perhaps we have nothing in common at all. Thank you once again for your support. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. We have a very beautiful Christmas collection in our merch shop. So if you plan on some products and some presents, check. They work perfectly as conversation starters. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. I'm pretty active there. Join my Discord community. And most importantly, thank you for staying with Ukraine. Together we will win. Slava Ukraini!